Hello, 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 YouTubers. This is the Anonymous Reality TV blogger. Hope you guys are having an amazing day. Today I'm going to be reviewing Love Island Australia Season 3, Episode 18, and we are picking right up where we left off, which was the conclusion of the post-Casa Amor recouplings, and of course, Nick coming back single for Courtney, and Courtney had recoupled with Noah, so therefore Noah got, to be there in the villa at the expense of Nick essentially going home. So Courtney, after that, lost it, had like a mini breakdown and was shook. And it was hilarious that Sophie, she's like walking away, like leaving the set, but like she kept staring at the drama and the fallout of the ladies, of specifically Courtney being upset, when ultimately it was her decision in terms of if she really wanted to recouple or not. And then Nick eventually gets back there and she's talking to him, and he's saying, it's done is done, I don't regret anything, I had a feeling, I always think the worst, and I had a feeling you were likely going to recouple, and I've accepted the fact that I'm going to be eliminated. And so Courtney, she's just out of sorts, she can't believe it. She was going based off of what she thought he would do and not based off of what he did do. So she's in a conundrum. She basically ignores Noah most of the night and is just really upset, really hysterical. Tina and Mitch, of course, are happy to be back. Aaron and Jess are happy to be back together. Aaron asked Jessica to be exclusive, so now they're exclusive. Taku and Michaela, they were having a little bit of romance, a little bit of a makeout sesh on the swing. Also, Zoe and Chris had a cute moment on the swings and just talked about, how much she missed him. And Chris talked about how he was scared that Zoe would recouple up with another guy. And they were just like extremely happy. And so then Ryan and Lexi have a post recoupling discussion, and essentially Ryan says that he liked Taylor, he felt she was more mature, more natural, and he said that the biggest issue with them, there were some red flags, and that he was concerned about their age difference. So and Lexi's like, well, our age difference is only 5 years. And so she felt like he was talking down to her. So that conversation ended abruptly. And then later on, Taylor had pulled Lexi aside, just to have a one-on-one with her to make sure there was no hard feelings. And basically Lexi told her that, it's not her, like she has no obligation to Lexi, it's Ryan. And I want to say bravo to Lexi, because oftentimes we see on these shows that the women want to come for the other women, when essentially in this situation, the female is just doing, what they need to do. They understood the assignment. It's really the men who should be coming under fire if they're able to resist temptation or not. That's really what it should be. If they're out here playing around or if they're going to be faithful, that's who should be held accountable. And it's unfortunate that we have gotten to the stan culture to where if it's a girl that you don't like, you take it out on the girl versus the male who is the one that's being wishy-washy. And I feel like that has ruined, the fun in a lot of these dating shows, because, everybody needs to be held accountable, but there's so much hatred and vitriol sometimes for the female in the situation and not the male who has been doing him. And I'm surprised that Lexi is so shocked, because Ryan did the same thing to Ari. His head turned immediately for Lexi, and he left Ari in the dust. So I'm surprised that Lexi never thought that that would happen to her as well. In the event somebody came that he felt was a better match for him. And also the elephant in the room, the obvious thing is he slept with over 500 women with the spreadsheet. Like, how can you trust that somebody who has slept with over 500 women is not going to find the right one and have his head turn? Like, that was a failure on Lexi's part to not consider that. So yeah, that was that. Also, I wanted to say that I think that was pretty much it. Then we got to the nighttime stuff, and Lexi goes over to bed and she talks to Ben, who she's ignored the entire night, and he's laying down. And so originally, she's laying down and then she gets uncomfortable because she sees Ryan and Taylor. She's like staring at them making out and stuff. And I'm like, oh no, this is not going to go well. And so then she tells Ben that she thinks she's going to sleep in the limbo bed. And, basically, Ben mumbles under his breath, it feels like I'm just talking to a brick wall anyways, or something to that effect. And Lexi is just pissed. And, but here's the thing, Lexi even said in her recoupling speech that she really didn't see it for her and Ben. So it was pretty obvious that she was just picking him in hopes that something could rekindle with Ryan, or to just stay in the villa and have another chance at love or whatever. So that pretty much was that. Everybody, all of the couples, were happy, cuddly, kissy, and all that stuff, with the exception of Courtney and Noah. So they were not in a good place that night. So the following morning, the guys and the girls, they have like their little debrief. It's like a little awkward because Lexi has to like walk by Ryan to like get her coffee and stuff for breakfast. So that was a little weird. And so the girls basically debrief, Courtney, she's still out of sorts. She's still confused about her decision, to pick Noah. And then, Jess is asking her if she regrets anything. And she says she doesn't regret the decision, but she just feels a way that she was making her decision based off of what she thought Nick would do and not based on how she actually felt. So that's why she's in her own little conundrum. Tina, of course, is on cloud nine with her and Mitch. I want to call out Mitch. I'm sick of him he keeps saying that he's on the Tina train. And I don't know if he wants me to believe that he's the conductor of the train, that he's like running this train, like that Tina's like a wave that he's just riding for now until he wins. Like, it's kind of making me feel a certain way because he talks about Tina like this is the winning team, like we've got this in the bag, like I'm all in on the Tina, blah, blah, blah. And it just makes me feel like, is he just really gaming now? Like, is this all this is? And we just haven't, realized it. And so I'm keeping a close eye on, what is really happening there with Mitch, because something is very sus. Because he keeps talking weird in his confessionals that is making me starting to raise a red flag for him. So then after that, then we have one moment that was really awkward was Ryan and Taylor's talk about geography, and Taylor apparently works in travel and did not know, what was the difference between international and what was domestic travel, and, where Bali was and where Thailand was, and it was just very disturbing. Like not knowing our countries, not knowing what continents the countries were from, not knowing what was the difference between somebody traveling in an international travel versus domestic. Like, it was just all over the place. It was a hotmess.com. So with that, Ryan was just, keeping it chill. And so then we run into the truth bike. So the truth bike was very fun because it made its resurgence again, and I know they did it to cause drama. So of course the stars of this were Kayla, Lexi, Ryan, and Ben, because those were the ones that caused the most drama. And essentially Lexi basically said her and Ben were friend vibes. Ben basically said that he's happy to go home at this point because he feels like he was used just so that Lexi could stay in the villa and see if Ryan still liked her or not. And since he didn't like her, he's just kind of there in the atmosphere. And so then, Ryan is like, he cannot believe it. Like, he is just like, He's shook. But he had a feeling because he kept hearing that Lexi wanted closure with him and wanting to think that there was something that they could still rekindle after everything that happened at Casa Amor when he's clearly moved on to another woman. So it's just unfortunate that it's the expense of Ben that he's basically there to just waste time until he's ultimately dumped again. So then Taylor was on the bike. They were asking if they thought Ryan was genuine, if they thought he was a liar. And, basically Taylor's like, hey, I've only known Ryan for a few days. Everything that we've, he said to me in a few days, that's all I have to go on. I wasn't here for the other connections. I originally thought that he was all in with Lexi. So originally, the two guys I was interested in were Mitch and Chris, and then that obviously changed. So that was pretty interesting. And so then I think Mitch got on the bike and they were asking if he felt that Tina was a girlfriend vibe, and he said yes. And then also, I wish they would have showed some of the other ones because I was curious to see if they asked Courtney some questions about Nick or not. So that was kind of weird that wasn't included. Anyways, post aftermath of the truth bite, because really that was just the highlights. Noah and Mitch had a conversation because Noah basically just felt like he's just there, like how Ben is. So he's kind of checked out of this Courtney thing because of he understood how she reacted to Nick, but Nick is gone and she's still kind of just like, he's just kind of physically there, but like she's not really there when she deals with him. So I kind of wish, like, if Courtney was going to go through all of this, that she could have just left with Nick when it's all said and done. Because why use somebody that you're not interested in, and then you indirectly have somebody dump that you were interested in when your whole journey has been all of these men have not been interested in you except for Nick. So that's like the piece that it's just confusing because Courtney has had so many opportunities on this show, and it just makes me miss Ari more because I feel like Ari deserved that opportunity to just stay, experience Casa more, and really get the full experience. Whereas I feel like Courtney got in her own head and got in her own way and, misread the situation. So, but unfortunately, I thought she actually did like Noah, but it seems like she's cool on him. So it is what it is. Courtney then had a conversation with Ryan, basically saying, trying to voice Lexi's concerns. And, she was saying to Ryan, how can you say that Taylor's natural and she has fake lips, fake boobs, and all this and that? And Ryan's just like looking at her like, dang, like, I'm like, man, these women are brutal. They are ruthless. So that was pretty much that. So then there really wasn't much that happened during the day, just kind of some filler stuff. So then they got ready for the evening, and, there was a text message that Courtney got that basically said, congrats to Jess and Aaron for becoming exclusive, and they are rewarded the hideaway. So it shows all the girls basically with Jess helping her get ready, helping her choose like a robe and sexy lingerie to wear. And, Courtney's like really hyping her up. Then it just shows the guys like all excited, huddled over together and this and that. And so then Tina comes out and she goes over to Aaron, like, what are you wearing? You still have on your jeans and stuff from the day. Wow. Meanwhile, Leslie's got on a robe. She's got on lingerie and stuff. And you're just showing up in that. And so Aaron's like looking at her like, what? So, he like kind of just looked like he put on a pair of shorts. And that was kind of that. But, and then him and Jess went to the hideaway and, they seemed really happy and, intimate or what have you. And that was pretty much the episode. However, some previews that I have seen for the next episode, for episode 19, do not look good for Jess and Aaron. And I don't know what the issue is. The only thing I could possibly surmise, which is a Love Island classic post Casa Amor / post hideaway situation, is something isn't what it seemed. And in this instance, since it's post hideaway, I am guessing Aaron potentially told the guys what actually happened in the hideaway, or, maybe kiss and told, or something happened, because the energy is completely different with Jess and Aaron. So more to come on that. So that pretty much was it. We're still trying to see, I'm still trying to feel out these couples to see who's really genuine and who isn't. So I'm curious to, see what happens in the aftermath of this Jess and Aaron situation, if they're able to come to a resolution, or if Jess was never really into Aaron like that when it was all said and done, and this just gave her a quicker out. And this could potentially be a Liberty and Jake situation part 2. So we'll see what happens. That is all I have. Please let me know what your guys' thoughts are in the comments, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will talk to you guys later.